communist sorta. Everyone has problems. Everyone has problems, and we know that. That's why we developed our business model. 90%, my friends, remember this as you go through life. 90% of the people around you don't care about your problems. No, they don't. Hopefully your mother cares or a loved one, but maybe not that even. Other 10% are glad you have them. And those of you who have been in the workforce for quite some time know this. Hey, you know what? If Randy fails, we can take his budget. I'd like to have his position. Oh, I'll take his stuff. So get used to it. We have problems. We need to be problem solvers. And that's what we're going to do. In our plan ahead stage, there's the symptoms. Here's some symptoms. Sales are declining for your department at safety first. That's a problem. That's really a symptom, though. A knee-jerk solution. And man, my employees better work harder and longer. Well, you better get ready for pay cuts and loss of benefits. Better yet, let's just lay the whole workforce off. Half to full. And we see that today. Wait a second. We know sales are declining, but why are they declining? Well, here we go. They've declined 60% in the last 2 years, $600,000. This is largely due to a slowdown, as you research, in the construction sector of the economy. Construction's not working, and you're selling safety shoes, because that's your department that you're over. And of course, those are steel-toed, so as construction workers, they've got to have steel-toe shoes. Wait a second. Oops, you inherited a business that represented 75% for the department sales are in the construction industry. I think we may be finding the real problem here. Problem statement. The safety shoe department is much too dependent on the construction industry for the company's long-term success. All right, that's a whole lot better than say, hey, sales are just declining. We have been way too dependent for too long on a construction industry that's slowed down. So the vision for our new department, your new department, is to develop and analyze and acquire new commercial customers that can increase sales by $800,000 in the next 2 years and attain a 10% growth rate on an annual basis. All right, we've got some vision going. I think our boss is going to like this. So, as we move through in our planning, we need a mission statement. We translate that vision into a mission statement. Now, I'm sure you have a mission statement at the office, the job, the industry that you work for, the organization. Hopefully, you even have a mission statement for your department that you work in. And it should include these 3 points. Why does your department exist or project exist? Okay, there's got to be a reason for that. What does it seek to accomplish? And how can it be accomplished? Okay, those are the 3 points we've got to nail down in our mission statement. It also should include the product or service from your department or the company, the primary customer, and wouldn't it be nice if in a mission statement an employee could read it and understand their role as well? So, if we were to write one, the mission statement of this safety shoe department is to become a viable profit center for Safety First Corporation. This department will aggressively seek new commercial customers in a diverse, profitable sector of the economy. Through effective planning, customer identification, and team building, this safety shoe department will regain a sales level of prior years and maintain a double-digit growth rate to ensure long-term profitability within a 2-year time frame. Mission statement should be easy to read, easy to understand. We have to become a profitable center again for our organization. We must aggressively seek new customers in diverse, profitable sectors. That's the employees that you're going to have under you. And again, this is how we're going to do it. Through that great planning and customer identification and team building, we're going to regain what we did 2 years ago. Well, since we're not in class anymore, if I always like to see, your mission statement, but if you have one, read it. Can you find out your role? Can you find out what you're supposed to do from that mission statement? Be very interesting. Now, we talk so much about mission statements. You're going to take more business classes than this one. This is your intro business class. You're going to take strategy. You're going to take corporate strategy as well. I mean, all sorts of more business classes, and we'll harp over missions, and we talk a lot about it for the business. But what about you? Personal mission statement. It's a vision statement for your own life. Do you have one? I have never met a student, I have rarely ever met a person that has raised their hand on this question. And we're not saying, I want to be great, I'm going to be the best, because I don't know what that is. Those are just little platitudes. They don't mean anything. It should mean this. What is my life about? What's the purpose? What am I standing for? And what have I accomplished? And what do I want to accomplish? We have purpose, values, and action. Well, let's detail it a little better than that. I think this could be the most important document you ever write. And of course, it's an extra credit bonus project. I believe I'm giving up to at least 30 points for 600 words. I've got the project in your Unit 3 lesson. You're going to interview, my friends, for jobs, professional jobs in your career. You're going to be asked many of these questions right in here. So wouldn't it be nice to go in prepared? Wouldn't it be nice to have that rudder ready to go in life of where you're trying to go? What do I value most in life? I think that's pretty important. This, I believe, is the most important interview question that can be asked. What has been my most important accomplishment? I ask that on every interview committee that I serve on, and I usually get a long pause. Well, let me see. So, and it could be professionally, and for those who have just been a student, what did you do academically? Again, some of you are working full-time, many of you are working full-time, and going to school full-time. That is a huge accomplishment. How did you do it? What were the constraints? What were some of the problems you faced, and how did you overcome them? What are my strengths? And when I like to look at what are my strengths, what makes you strong? Okay? Is it working with people? How does that make you strong? Is it working with numbers? Again, something that is your strength would be if you had to do an activity and afterwards you felt, man, I feel strong. What are some of those things? That would be very interesting. What are you trying to get from a college education? All right? Again, this is your personal mission. What type of career am I trying to attain? What type of organization do I want to work for? Does that mean profit, nonprofit, a startup company, a non-government organization, a city, a municipality? That'd be very interesting. And if you can't think of that right now, we tend to have a hard time understanding what we really want to do. Write this down. What would my ideal workday consist of? If you woke up tomorrow morning and you were in that perfect job, would you be working inside, outside, a big corporation? Would you be your own boss? Would it be the business that you are that you are developing? What would it look like? That kind of helps your career development. What do I want to achieve in my professional life and my personal life? Two questions that are very important. I talk to a lot of people. They want to make $150 a year, 150K. Great. And I will make sure that I will always be at home for my children. I'll make sure I get every ball game, every recital, every art festival, like everything they go to. Well, those two things may not coincide, because working a job at $150,000 probably means a lot of travel. It's not a 40-hour work week. It's probably an 80-hour work week. So again, are those two things meshing for you? How would my coworkers describe me? What are the skills I can bring to this organization? What are my 5 and 10-year goals? This is what all these questions should be answered in a personal mission statement, and anything else you could possibly think of. A lot of people go through life and they've had what deems to be a successful career, but a lot of people weren't satisfied from them. Put this personal mission statement together. Again, I think it could be the most powerful document that you ever write in your life. We spend so much time writing and doing things for others and for projects and for school. Put a little of this in yourself. And again, it's not 3 or 4 or 5 sentences, my friends. It's about 600 words. I mean, it's all about you. And I think it will help you guide your career and really get you ready for some of the professional interviews that you're going to go on through in life. We're planning, we're working, we got that mission statement, we got a vision. So analyze yourself and your competition. We do a SWOT analysis. Now I'm hoping that many of you have already completed those Hewlett-Packard Life certificates, because one was how to create a SWOT analysis. A SWOT analysis works on strengths, opportunities, weaknesses, and threats. So, if we look at an organization, strengths are internal elements. We look at Tarrant County College, for example. Employees, management, the locations, the expertise, the business model, the market share. All of these are internal. We have possibly some control over. All right? And hopefully they're strengths. Information capital, etc., etc. Some of that can be weaknesses. They're also internal to the organization. Perhaps the decision-making process is just horrific. It is so slow. You don't know when your idea is submitted, if anything comes to fruition. Inexperience may be a definite weakness. Low employee morale. As a manager, I think this is the hardest thing to fight. It's been my experience. When your employees are unhappy, there's a lot of stuff going on, but can you increase that? It is a giant weakness, which means people are just not going to perform to their potential, and they may even begin to sabotage different areas of their work. So, tough one, my friends. Limited capital. When we have great ideas, but we just don't have the money. Maybe that business model is undeveloped. We didn't think of all the different avenues. And again, right now in the time we're in, we know there's a lot of pain going through the economy. The market share, the location, all right, where we have what we've picked to distribute our products, well, that could be a weakness. Opportunity, we like these. All right, these are external environments right in here. These exist it's just much like the situation analysis in the business model you're doing. Hey, what market are we in? What's the growth rate? Are there potential customers? Are there a lot of suppliers that can help me create my service or product? That's a great opportunity. Technology, always an opportunity. As internet technologies come through and game changers, how can I take advantage of that? Manufacturing processes, et cetera, 3D printing. These could be all sorts of, you're certainly not limited just to this as opportunities. Globalization, the economy, are we in recovery, expansion? It's tough right now. In the month that we are in, March 2020, going into April 2020 with this coronavirus. But we know it's going to end soon. We hope and pray. And there's going to be a lot of opportunity after that where people want to get back to their normality of lives. And so what is tough right now, hopefully in the coming months, can be huge opportunities for you. Threats, external environment as well. Again, the market. Is competition too tough? Is there a decline in market rates? Are there limited suppliers? I've only got one and I'm so small right now as a business and I need some suppliers. That's a threat. Right now we know that the global supply chain comes through Asia, specifically China. I think that's going to change after what we've seen. And so we can see Apple having a very difficult time getting the new iPhone 11 out because very few products are coming from China, and that's their major supply chain. So that's a threat. And again, maybe one that no one even thought about in the catastrophes that are going on in the global marketplace. Technology. Is technology a threat? Well, it's expensive. And there's always that increased cost of technology upgrades. And did we really become that much more efficient with what we just purchased in the technology field? Globalization, political instability. I think we better put catastrophe in there as well. And of course, the recessionary business cycle, which is what we're going to go through. And hopefully we can pop out very quick. So what do we do with the SWOT? We're trying to maximize strength, capitalize on opportunities, get your department in a position for opportunities, limit the weaknesses as much as possible, and try to negate your threats. So, you've done some work here as this manager planning ahead. I should say leader. Vision statement. Take your vision. Take your mission. Got that problem statement. Now you've got a little bit of SWOT analysis there. With all the research you're doing, it is now time to build our goals and our objectives. All right? We got to look at goals and objectives. And many of you probably have seen this information before. Maybe not. A goal is a long-range accomplishment, maybe in 2 to 3 years, okay? Our goal is to increase sales by over $800,000 for the next 2 years. Well, we did it before, so I think that's a reasonable goal. We can do it again and establish 70 to 80 new commercial customers. The objective is a strategy. It is short-term, within a year. So, at the end of the year, we want to increase sales by $400,000 and generate 40 new commercial customers. Goal broad, objective, strategy, much more specific. Now, in order for goals to work, be effective, they should be the following. They should have these. They should be specific. They should be measurable. They should be attainable or achievable. They should be relevant and time limited. That's called a SMART goal. Let's flesh that out. Specific. A goal will say this: what do I want to accomplish? What are the benefits? Who's involved? What are the requirements and constraints? Hey, I want to save some money. All right, that's great. Does that really mean anything? Is it specific? Or is it just, hey, I got $5 more than I had on January 1st at the end of this year, December 31st, 2020. Hey, I got $5 more in my savings account than I did on January 1st. Well, okay, technically, yes, you did save some money, and realistically, it means nothing. Okay, so we need to get specific. What if we said 20 grand? I want to save $20,000 by the end of the year. Okay, that's very specific, and we can go from there. Can I measure it? Yeah. A good goal is measurable. It tells me how much, how many, how will I know when it's accomplished? Well, at the end of 2020, December 31st, I have $20 more thousand in my bank account. Well, absolutely. We've measured it out. It has to be attainable. That makes a lot of sense too. An attainable goal will answer this question: can it be accomplished, and do I have the resources and abilities for completion? I want to save $20,000. Well, the average bank account in the United States, take out the very top wealthy, is about $600. Okay. Very few people can save any money. And $20,000 on a salary, I don't know if that's attainable. That's probably over promising myself. Let's take 10 out. $2,000. Okay, $2,000. That's basically $20 a week. Okay, let me refresh that. $40 a week. So it's 160. That's a lot more attainable than $20,000. If I can hit $40 a week or 160 a month, I think I could do that. I think a lot of people could do that. Okay, it's smart. It's specific. It's measurable. It is attainable. Is it relevant? A relevant question answers this: does it seem worthwhile? Well, we know we need to save some money. If I save some money now, that means in the future I get to buy more stuff. And if there's any emergencies in the future, I've got that covered with some savings. Is this the right time? It's always the right time to save money. Does it match the efforts? Are you the right person to accomplish this goal? We want to have this in the workplace as well, because I think you're going to see many coworkers that come up with a goal or a project that just suits their own personal professional needs, and they can ride that out for a long time. But in the end, it really wasn't a great, significant effect on the organization. So, as you're a leader, you want to make sure that your employees are following this. Is it relevant to everybody else? But this is also can be very personal goals. It is relevant for what we're doing and saving $2,000 a year in a time limited. This helps us. Versus, I just want to be great. I want to do this. When is it going to be accomplished? What can I do 6 months from today? 6 weeks? What can I start doing today? If you can do all of that, put that together, you got a good goal. Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time limited. Now, we say a lot about goals. We get caught up on it. We get juiced up. You never rise to the level of your goal. You will always fall to the level of your system. The system achieves the goal because they're great. Hey, it's March. We've had a few months We probably had great New Year's resolutions. I'm going to do this. I'm getting better shape. I'm going to be healthier. And those seems to go out, like January 5th. We just forget all about what we asked on January 1st. So they can be great goals, but they can be stumbling blocks. We have to have the system or a habit to make things happen. And small changes in your life can have remarkable results in your future. I would suggest that for you, my classmates here, get this book. It's by James Clear, Atomic Habits. It's how tiny changes can lead to remarkable results. And I think this is going to really help you throughout your, again, professional and personal life. Let's see this. Here's what we had. Better health in 2020. It's January 1st. I'm going to work out 10 times a week. All right, 3 times a week, strength conditioning. No more soft drinks. No more junk food. Yes, I may even become vegan, vegetarian, fiber, no alcohol, no sugar. That's going to be great. And then there's reality on week 3. Well, you know what? It was kind of cold, and I really didn't want to get outside, and I kind of got sick. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this next year. 2021. That's going to be my year. Forget 2020. It's maybe 2022. You know what? 2030 is not that far away either, and I might start then. Hey, as someone, as I've told you many times, who has taken care of an elderly mother, you don't start getting healthier later in life if you haven't done it in your earlier life things, my friends, in time frame. So, what can we do here? The power of tiny gains. If you were to get 1% better every day, you may not even notice that. But at the end of a year, you would notice it greatly. 38% increase. If you take out your phone, go to your scientific calculator, and you put into the XY function, put in 1.01, that's the X, okay? And then put 365, because this is the exponent of 365 days a year. That 1% makes you better. At the end of the year, 38%. You definitely recognize that. So small little things, trying to get in good habits and resources, getting better, that's going to create results for you. What if you got worse every day? When my father retired in 1990, he was the smartest man that I've ever known and was just a creative genius, all sorts of things happening. Again, I got the 5 keys of success from him. I just made it into an academic format. He stopped. I don't want to do stuff. I said, Dad, why don't you get another job? Well, that might mess with my Social Security. I don't think it's going to do that. Why don't you go to the hardware store? You can fix anything. You know what? I'm just going to sit here and take a nap every day. And that's what he did. He sat there and did very little. My mother, on the other hand, became the mayor of Euless, Texas, and she just took off. It was her thing. And so my dad, very little things he did. Unfortunately, at the end of his life, he was 4 years in a nursing home, and that's where he passed away. He didn't do anything to keep himself going. Friends, when you don't do anything, you can do the same mathematical computation. Do 0.99 in your scientific calculator on your phone. That's the X. The exponent is 365, and basically you've just lost any skill that you've had. So, these little tiny gains are huge. You want to build habits, and here's how you build them. Let's say we wanted better health. When you wake up and before you go to bed, you do some stretching. If we're looking at health, you do a little bit of push-ups, sit-ups, squats. You make that green smoothie. You read 10 pages of a book. You do that in the morning and in the afternoon. At the end of a year, do you think you'd have better strength? Yeah, because all of a sudden, you're not going to be doing 10 push-ups. You're going to be hitting 30 push-ups, maybe 50 sit-ups as months go by. You'll have better overall health. And of course, you've just read 8 novels. By reading 10 little pages in the morning and 10 pages at night, you're going to crank out 8 novels, maybe more than that, depending on, I'm basing it on a 600-page novel. That's pretty huge, my friend. That's pretty huge. Stacking your habits. To create a good habit, I'm taking it from James Clear. When you stack it, make it obvious. All right? Have that book ready to go. Have your workout materials, in the morning. Have a space where you're going to do that. Buy your green smoothie ingredients and have that ready to go. You can prep it the night before. Make it attractive, all right, that you want to do this. Make it easy. Again, if I were to say, hey, you know what you need to do? You need to do 1,000 sit-ups and 1,000 push-ups every day. Well, you'd say, get out of here. I'm getting away from you as fast as possible. But 10 and 20, okay, I'll try. And if that's too much, 5 and 5. You start it going. Make it very easy and make it satisfying. We know the reward of good health. We know the reward of saving money. A few weeks, it becomes an automatic habit for you. So, that's a little habit planning right there. Again, Atomic Habits by James Clear. I think it'd be one of the best books you can buy. And I get no money from that, by the way. We're planning ahead. We're hitting it. We're killing it. It's what we're doing. Quality. Everybody wants a good quality project. Absolutely. Quality is something that you don't inspect in the end. You don't take a micrometer at the very end or a microscope and say, what if I did a good job? They have to be planned in. They are planned in by clearly defined goals, your quality, and objectives. And this provides you the standard. We're going to have to evaluate our project, the quality of it. But it starts here in the planning process. As we close out on this quick unit of planning ahead, the benefits. Well, it establishes your standard for measuring performance by setting your plans and goals. It guides the employee's activity. Okay? It clarifies expectations. That's what we want to do. It establishes your quality expectations. This is the benefits of good planning and goal setting. And if you're wondering why at your current workplace things aren't getting done well, have the goals and the plans been clearly defined for you and established? Might be a starting point to look at. From this deliverable stage, all right, in your career, in your personal life, your boss, Carol, with that Range Rover that she gave you and that beautiful office, you should be able to give her this in a week. A clearly written problem statement, the vision of what your project or plan is to become, the mission statement for that project or plan, the SWOT analysis, the goals and objectives. You also should always have, in your managing your career, your primary stakeholder list. Remember, stakeholders are anyone who can help you, and unfortunately, they could hurt you as well. But for right now, we should have, my boss is a stakeholder, my employees are a stakeholder, possibly different managers from a different department. I need to include them. It's just a primary stakeholder list to know who you're working with and what are the assets that you've got. Oh, it does take time and energy, my friends. And that's why only 2% of people are prepared to make that investment. You want to be in the 98th percentile. You start focusing on planning ahead. You start being proactive. 50% of projects will fail in some capacity. Better planning will dramatically lower that number. Be the hero for your team. Do the diligence. Diligence is those small little things, those 1% little things every day. Be obsessed with the excellence in the details, and that's how that plan comes together. Oh, the best laid plans of mice and men often go astray. That's from John Steinbeck's novel of Mice and Men. Your mission now, you got the plan, great, but now it's got to succeed. You've got to be able to communicate that with your team. If you're the only person who knows your plan, it's not going very far. So, in the 5 keys, oh, never mind. Great, we fired him. That was from last semester. Bye. Bye-bye, Jason. We're going to look at communication. The quality of your life is the quality of your communications.